Hey guys, how's it going? Webhub Susanthi here, and welcome to the day 5. Today, my friends, is sadly the last day of this 5-day awesome LinkedIn workshop, ain't it? Now, today, we're going to talk about playing the outbound game. You can look at that, it's not outbound, it's outbound game. That's how I call it, outbound, right? So, what are we going to talk about on this day 5? We have done quite a few things if you think about it from day 1 to day 4. Right? We understood your target audience, we personalized and optimized your profiles, we understood who to connect with and where to find them, and also build content. But there was one huge thing that wasn't covered yet. That was about how do you reach out to people. It could be clients, it could be potential leads, it could be for partnerships, whatever that is. How could you potentially reach out to people? How can you close people with the outbound approach? That wasn't discussed, and that's exactly why I picked up day 5, because this is probably one of the most complex topics of all the days, and this would need a lot of tests and trials. Let me quickly make my screen bigger. My hair looks super messy, but that's okay, right? This is one of the things that needs a lot of time and experimentation, my friends, because it is going to be very, very different based on your business, based on your target audience, based on who your potential customer is. If it's a big enterprise brand, the approach has to be different. If it's a smaller startup, SaaS companies, your style and your approach will be different. But what I'm going to do right now is spend some time to analyze and understand what would be the easiest way to break it down in the next 20 minutes. What would be the easiest way for you guys to understand the outbound game the right way? All right, so build something out for you guys, and I'm going to show you tons of examples, and I am going to share a few frameworks that I use with my clients, and these clients are charging $4,000 a month, $3,000 a month. Usually my usual price is $8,000 for 3 months, but yeah, I'm going to share those strategies as well, those frameworks as well with you people. All right, now with that being said, also I just noticed I should shoot more videos during the daylight. It looks pretty nice. It looks like I'm in some other country. Anyways, the day 5, let's talk about the outbound or the outbound game. All right, what the hell is outbound? Let me quickly make this smaller. I'm discussing myself with my non-sleepy face. All right, what the hell is outbound? So far, we've understood, we have done everything possible to create content, to build a network in a way that people reach us out, people send us a connection request, things like that. But outbound is we sending people out a message, we sending people out a request with the right connection message, with a follow-up message, trying to close them on messages and get them to a call or whatever your call to action is. That's what outbound is. You reaching them out rather than they reaching you. That's outbound. And trust me, a lot of people think outbound is the only way, while I've already proven to you with one piece of content to a lot of people that inbound can be super duper effective as well. All right, but for this class, we're going to talk about outbound. And again, like I said, there is no one approach that fits all the business out there, but the framework is still going to be the same. All right. Now, a lot of you guys might question, and I'm sure a lot of you would end up asking the same question again: isn't LinkedIn outbound strategy spammy AF? Right? Personally, I hate getting messages which are sales messages talking about, hey, this is a product that we have, can you buy it? This is the product that you have, do you want to check it out? Like, people have been spamming the shit out of LinkedIn by sending random, very, very bad messages to sell their products. All right, but you know what? There's a right way of doing this also. I've helped more than, like, I don't know what, 15 odd clients so far, and they've generated some very good amount of money in like thousands of dollars using LinkedIn outbound strategies, but they are done in a very, very different way, and those are the kind of strategies I'm going to run you guys through. So every outbound strategy is not made the same, and every outbound strategy is probably not as spammy or probably isn't spammy at all. All right. Now, this is a message. Can any of you guys identify what this message is? I'd like to add you to my professional network. It's one of the biggest mistakes you will ever make. Period. This is one of the biggest mistakes that you'll ever make. The reason is, it is so cliche, it is so common, and it is so unpersonalized that if I get a message like this, I reject the person 100% sure. If I get a message, if I get a connection with this message, for a few connections, at least leave them and I don't accept them. But if I get a connection like this, it pisses the shit out of me and I delete the connection, because it is very, very bad. I know this is a custom message that LinkedIn gives you, but that doesn't mean that you'll be sending this to everybody. All right, put some effort. All right, but you know what? Just because I'm saying it doesn't mean that I've done it right every time. Look at this. This used to be my connection message at a point of time when I just started up using LinkedIn. It's actually a real screenshot. I say, I'm Webhub. I work as a marketing manager at Uber and a growth consultant. I run something called the School Hacks of the Day, which I used to run back in the day, where I share simple growth hacks. Just say hi here. Basically, what I was trying to do is I was trying to build a messenger bot base, and I thought this would be a great strategy by sending out connection requests as this. And guess what? People did accept, probably looking at the Uber and marketing manager, but no one replied. No one replied. There are very, very few clicks on that link that you can see there. And the reason is I sent a sales message in the first step. This was something that asked for their action in the first step. When a message like this goes out, it gets rejected most of the time because it makes sense, right? It has to get rejected. So I'm shamelessly showing up my old messages, but then what I'm trying to say is don't make these mistakes. All right, so let's quickly jump into the 3 important factors of outbound LinkedIn marketing. Okay, and number 1 and the most important one is personalization. Personalization, my friends, is the most important factor, period. I mean, there's nothing more important in terms of acceptance or anything like that other than personalization. The other thing that you need to know is money is in the follow-up. 95 to 96% of people who send a message on LinkedIn never follow up, and that's where you lose the game. All right, number 3, multi-touch point. A user needs to notice, your potential client needs to notice you multiple times before he has the trust and has a citation flow to reply to you. And I've said this multiple times in this class because it is that important. It actually is very, very important. That's how human behavior works. You know, the science basically, the number says you need at least 7 touch points before a person makes a sale from you. In fact, the 7 would probably be like 17 these days, right? With the amount of marketing that we have. So it is very, 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 very important that we have a multi-touch point strategy, not a single touch point strategy. If you guys have no freaking idea what I'm talking about here, don't worry. I'm going to jump into each of these topics and I'm going to run you guys through what I exactly mean. All right. The first one, personalization. Personalization is the only thing that can increase your acceptance rate, period. Let's say you're sending an invite and you're sending something like, I'd like to get in touch with your professional network. Or if you say something cliche like, hey, I found your profile interesting, so send you a request. Those things don't work. They don't. They obviously don't, because someone who is at least keen of understanding what kind of network is trying to build would never accept anything like that. And if you're trying to hit up people like business owners and things like that, they obviously know you're going to hit them with the sales because of how bad the connection message is, and they don't want to get in touch with people like you. So don't be that guy, okay? Try to personalize. Now I keep talking about personalization. What the hell do I mean by that, right? A request personalization. What can you add in a request to make it super personalized? Something in common. That is a great start. That is a very, very great start. For example, let's say you're connecting with marketers, right? Other marketers. Instead of saying, hey, I found that you're a marketer too, I would love to get in touch with you. Instead, you could say, I see a lot of content that you create, which is around Facebook ads, and I'm a digital marketer too. I would love to connect and touch base sometime with you. That is a good personalized connection message. Instead of saying marketer, you're talking about Facebook ads, you're talking about content, you're talking about quite a few things in there, right? In the same way, let's say you're talking about, let's say you're B2B business and trying to reach out to a potential client. Then you could let's say you've somehow figured out to, find who he's using tools like Bitwith and or like Leadfuse or whatever it is, high-end B2B tools, all right? Or Albatross for that matter. Now that you know which technology they're using, you could basically say, hey, I figured that you're using, let's say, Albatross for that matter, right? You're using Albatross as a tool. I would love to get in touch with you because I found a very, very good, interesting alternative. Or I use Albatross too. I would love to share some notes with you. That is called personalization, and you can't go wrong the moment you personalize your invites, your acceptance rate has a good chance might possibly double. Right now, if you have an acceptance rate of 10%, 15%, 20%, that basically means you're doing it wrong, my friends. If you don't have anything to personalize, just don't put a connection on. Just send an invite. I've told you this multiple times again. If you just send an invite, there's probably a slightly higher chance of the person accepting it. But if you are sending something nonsensical, like I'd like to add to your network, no, not gonna work, my friend. All right, the second one, where you found them. This is brilliant. I like always use them. If I found them in a Facebook group, I talk about the Facebook group. Usually I do a lot of scraping, so that works, that helps. If I found them, let's say you meet a bunch of people in an event, in a network event outside, or in a marketing conference, or whatever it is, add those elements in there on how you got to know about them. If there's an outside reference beyond you finding them on the LinkedIn feed, that's a great thing to talk about. And number three, if you have no idea how to, send an invite, probably one of the easiest way to do it is go check their content out, and basis of their content, write something, or see something in their profile and write something, right? So that's probably is one other very, very easy way to get in touch with someone and personalize your request. All right, I hope that makes sense. But guys, request personalization is super important, because if someone is not accepting you, there is no way that you can sell them anymore. Almost, they could see your content and still end up buying something, but there's a very, very less chance that they'll end up buying anything from you because they won't notice you. All right, so it's very, very important. Now, here's a message that I used to send for my own profile, though I can't share my client stuff, but I can share my own stuff. So here's a message. Hey Zach, I really wanted to connect. As such, I've decided not to send you a generic LinkedIn invite because I wanted to be funny. Hello, and it works because I'm not running an enterprise business. I'm a startup guy, right? By the way, I found your profile URL in the BAMF Facebook group. I hope to see you on the other side. webhubsysnty.com. Simple as that. All right. You see how I enter the website as well? A lot of times when they see a clicky link, they end up clicking on that. And I would love for them to check out my website. So why not? It's in your signature. It's not on the face. It doesn't say check out my website. It's just in the signature. It works. All right. So, like you see here, right? I mean, it's informal, it's casual, it conveys what it is. It means that I have personalized the invite. It feels like I'm talking to him directly, and it works. When I was sending this out, it had like acceptance of 65 to 70%, probably more if I don't remember right, but it was insane. It was on the highest convert invite script that I have. Now don't end up using this script, for God's sake. All right, come up with something of your own. Now, money is in the follow-up, my friends. A lot of times what we do is we send an invite. In a lot of cases, the invite in itself has a sales message, or the moment someone accepts, we send a thank you and say, hey, here's my product, would you like to buy? And what would that happen? And people will be like, what the hell? This is why I accepted this person for, so that I can get sold. Guys, you don't propose a girl the first time you meet. You spend some time with her, you make her feel happy, you make her trust you, and then you propose, irrespective of guys proposing girl or a girl proposing guy. I'm not generalizing, I'm not a sexist, right? But you get my point, right? So money is in the follow-up. Follow-ups will nurture customers, all right? So here's a quick example of a follow-up message that I used to use the moment someone used to accept me. Again, I play a very casual game because I'm trying to just build my personal brand and trying to get in touch with people who might be interested in my growth hacking services, right? So Bitwet, Mutiet, whatever his name was or her name was, I really appreciated connecting with me. I wanted to share quick 3 fun things about me to get started with. I always hated tattoos, but I got one done because my ex-GF was getting it the next day. I started when I was 19. I was done with my college loan before I finished my final year of education. I ran an award-winning agency. The reason why I spoke about the loan is in US, loans